So this ought to be a treat. It's The Last Stand 2. A sequel to a game that I really liked that I really do not like. They made a whole lot of innovations to the formula. A lot of them I can appreciate, but it's the two that I can't stand that make me hate this game. I'll be explaining that as we go along. We have our little intro sequence here, though. You know, we escaped at the end of The Last Stand. What could have gone wrong? We were in a helicopter. Oh. Somebody on the helicopter was infected and took the entire thing down. You can pause to read that if you want. I don't think I leave it up quite long enough. I just wanted to get a move on because I had recording issues with this game. I never want to play this game again after this, so enjoy. But, you know, it is... It's kind of, there are a lot of good ideas here. For instance, we'll be defending several different barricades, and these barricades will have different strength levels. This one only starts at 80 health, you know. But here's the biggest change. Here's the first thing that torques me off. The time management now has a map, and you search various buildings, which takes various amount of times. Each city has a set amount of supplies, because the entire goal here is to, you know, travel to Union City if you manage to read the beginning thing. You have 40 days to get to Union City. You have to travel through a bunch of different locations to get there. So each town has a map, and you can allocate time to either repairing the barricade or searching various buildings. Each town has 2 weapons, 2 survivors, a set number of traps that you can use, and a set number of supplies. You need supplies to travel. You know, we'll need 5 supplies to move on from this place. This sounds great in theory. It sounds amazing in theory, except once you apply it, once you start to practice this, this is the most obnoxious, annoying thing in the frickin' world. Because the other thing that really bothers me about this game is it's completely randomized. You know, you don't know where you're going to find these things. And a lot of the times I find the game just arbitrarily screws me over every single time I go to search for things. But everything is random. Everything. In the last game, the same number of zombies of the same type would show up on each level, just in a random order. You know, that was the only randomness to them. In this game, no. The type and number of zombies are completely random. This is going to be the biggest issue playing this game. You're actually going to see me start to show a strategy off later, which is the only strategy I've found that works when playing this game. It's challenging, so if you like a good challenge and don't mind the fact that the challenge is completely luck-based and arbitrary, this might be a good game for you. Here's the chainsaw at work. It is a complete necessity in this game to have the chainsaw. You know, it's the exact same thing it did in the first game, and I didn't like it there, but due to how this game works, it is an absolute necessity to have that thing on hand. And I have enough to travel, but I didn't find the second weapon here, which is another necessity. You need to get the revolver before you move on, so I wasted all 5 days that I could possibly spend here. Here's me showing off the worst of the traps. It's a little exploding barrel. You have to shoot it to trigger it. And since zombies block shots, you effectively have to shoot it immediately. So all it does is kill whatever happens to be next to it in the very beginning of the round. Okay, so I said there was good things about this game. Well, I do like some of the concepts here. You know, I do like the searching the towns. I don't know how I would fix it. And I also like this, traveling from town to town. You can make different decisions. I could have gone to a small town, or I could go to the big city. The small town has a shotgun to find and a bow and arrow to find. The city has an Uzi and the other submachine gun from the last game. But you have to deal with more zombies in the city. It's also a lot bigger to search, if I remember right. I don't go to the small town because the Uzi, I find, is the other absolutely necessary thing to have. My loadout in this game is the Uzi and the chainsaw. And as soon as I find the Uzi, I'll explain the strategy. Other change, you can only have up to 4 survivors with you, meaning now you only get 5 people on your team. But the survivors actually help a lot, because now you can, as you see, equip weapons to them, and they actually fire a lot. They are vital to winning this game as well, because they increase the amount of health you can repair the barricade by, and now they act as essentially auto turrets that you can equip with the various weapons you're picking up. Downside, new zombie type that I can't stand. It's not much of a type, it's something zombies sometimes do. Some zombies will spawn in wielding weapons. What do the weapons do? Well, if a zombie's holding a weapon and attacks the barricade, he's also attacking over the barricade. This can hit you and your survivors, and y'all can only take one hit. So you have to be careful for that. I kind of dig it, except that any zombie type can be holding a weapon. This includes those annoying as hell, fat, running zombies. If I can claim anything to be the bane of this of this game's existence, it's that there. 'Cause that is what frustrates me the most when it comes to this game. 'Cause he'll just... And yeah, as you see, they'll just spawn in runners right there at the very beginning. Like, that's not an uncommon occurrence. So if one of them had been holding a weapon, you would have kissed that survivor up there goodbye. So, I'll try not to be too negative the entire way through. Because this game, again, there are things here that I like. It's just, I can't get past the stuff that I hate enough. Oh, so the strategy. Now that I have the Uzi, I'm going to use it in the chainsaw. I'm going to be defensive, and I'm going to let the survivors be the offense. I'll actually stick around here until I find all the survivors and all the weapons. Even if I find all the supplies. You know, you want as many survivors as you can get, and you want to get that second SMG. What I find the best solution to this to be is, you're going to use the Uzi. You're going to take out any runners you see, prioritizing those that hold weapons. You're trying to protect your survivors. And you have to take down those runners. You do not want to use the chainsaw. That's the last thing you want to be using. I will break this strategy sometimes because I'll also fire at things that are about halfway to the barricade if there's nothing going on. But it is imperative that you pay attention and you take out runners. Especially the ones using weapons. I cannot stress how important survivors are. You need to keep them alive. Oh. This game. But yeah, I don't want to ever play this game again after this. I didn't like it to begin with. And I had a lot of recording issues. It took me 11 or 12 playthroughs to finally get this game, because I would record it and I would lose a bunch. And by about the 4th playthrough, I managed to win. And the recording messed up. If you remember Final Fantasy Episode 9, the pixelation that was happening, it happened there too. To that playthrough of The Last Stand 2, except it was completely unwatchable. You know? Just completely unwatchable. So I had to play through a few more times. I lost a few more times. Finally won again. Recorded myself winning again. Only the recording software wasn't recording for some reason. I don't know what happened. I restarted my computer and it worked fine after that. I have no idea what it was about. Played a few more times, lose a bunch more times. Finally get this playthrough. So yeah, I never want to play this game again. If you think it looks fun and interesting, more power to you. Have fun with it. If you can find joy where I cannot, go for it. But we're in the hard part now. We've been in the easy part up until now. This town of Aspenwood is when the game can really kiss my ass. Our barricade has 50 health. That's it. Only 50. The weapons here don't matter so much. If you find them, equip them, good. But move on from here as quick as you can, because this is the part. We're at night 17. We're at a part of the game where the zombies really start to pick up their numbers. Because that's one thing that isn't random. Like, the amount will be random, but I think it'll be from one set number to another set number. Like, on day 1 it'll be anywhere from 3 to like 10. We're at the part where those numbers are cranked to the ridiculous, and our barricade only has 50 health. I lose here a lot. But you can imagine I'll make it this time. You can also find a hunting rifle here. I wish I would have found it to show it off. But it's not necessary. It and the sawed-off shotgun are not necessary. Move on from Aspenwood as quick as you can. As soon as you find them supplies, move on. That's an awkward end. I'm sorry about that. I'll see you next time for part 2, when we finish the game.